The rain poured heavily across Blackridge, Oregon, on the night Emily Dawson disappeared. It was October 14, 2017. At around 6 a.m. the next morning, a man jogging near Pine Hollow Forest spotted a silver Honda Civic parked awkwardly beside the road. The headlights were still on. The driver's door was open. Inside the car were a purse, a phone, and a half-finished coffee. But the owner of the car was nowhere to be found. 26-year-old Emily Dawson had vanished. And the deeper police investigated, the darker the story became. Emily Dawson was known as one of the kindest people in Blackridge. She worked as a pediatric nurse at St. Mary's Hospital and had recently gotten engaged to her boyfriend, Ryan Carter. Friends described her as careful, smart, and impossible to dislike. The night she disappeared, Emily attended a small dinner gathering at her friend Melissa's apartment. Everything seemed normal. Security footage later showed Emily leaving the apartment around 9:45 p.m. A few minutes later, she texted Ryan, "On my way home. See you soon, Red Heart." That was the last message anyone ever received from her. The next morning, Ryan reported her missing after repeated calls went unanswered. At first, police assumed Emily may have crashed during the storm. But then they found her car. And nothing about the scene made sense. Emily's belongings were untouched. Her wallet and cash were still inside the car. There were no signs of violence. No broken windows. No blood. It looked as if Emily had simply stepped out of the vehicle and vanished into the darkness. Search teams quickly flooded Pine Hollow Forest. Dogs tracked Emily's scent for nearly half a mile before suddenly losing it near a shallow riverbank. Investigators feared someone may have used the river to destroy evidence. But divers searched the area thoroughly. They found nothing. Days turned into weeks. Then rumors began spreading around Blackridge. People started mentioning the same name over and over again. Daniel Reeves. Daniel lived alone in a cabin near the forest. Neighbors described him as strange and antisocial. Some claimed he watched people from his porch late at night. Others said young women often complained about feeling uncomfortable around him. Police decided to question him. At first, Daniel appeared calm. He claimed he had been home alone the entire night Emily disappeared. But investigators soon discovered surveillance footage from a nearby gas station showing a dark pickup truck, identical to Daniel's, driving toward Pine Hollow around 11 p.m. When detectives confronted him, his behavior changed immediately. He became nervous, then angry, then completely silent. Police obtained a warrant and searched his cabin. What they discovered horrified the entire town. Hidden inside the basement were dozens of photographs of women. Some were taken outside restaurants. Some at grocery stores. Some through windows. Many of the women clearly had no idea they were being watched. And among those photographs was Emily Dawson. Several pictures of her. One appeared to have been taken only days before she vanished. The news spread quickly. Blackridge residents became terrified. People demanded Daniel Reeves be arrested immediately. But police faced a major problem. They had no body, no DNA, no direct proof Emily had been kidnapped or killed. Daniel denied everything and claimed he was simply a photographer. Without stronger evidence, police had no choice but to release him. And that decision would later haunt investigators forever. Months passed with no sign of Emily Dawson. The case slowly disappeared from national headlines. Ryan stopped speaking publicly. Emily's mother reportedly became severely depressed. Many feared the truth would never be discovered. Then 6 months later, another young woman disappeared. 17-year-old Sophie Miller vanished while riding her bicycle near a wooded trail 20 miles from Blackridge. Her bicycle was found abandoned beside the road. And witnesses reported seeing a dark pickup truck nearby shortly before she vanished. Police immediately focused on Daniel Reeves again. This time, detectives secretly tracked his movements. For nearly 2 weeks, nothing happened. Then one night around 2 a.m., officers watched Daniel drive deep into a restricted forest area. Police followed him quietly. Suddenly, Daniel sped away. A dangerous chase began through muddy back roads. Moments later, his truck crashed into a ditch. But when officers reached the vehicle, Daniel was gone. He had escaped into the forest on foot. Police launched a massive overnight search. Helicopters circled above the trees while officers searched the woods with dogs and flashlights. Just before sunrise, investigators made a terrifying discovery. Hidden beneath leaves and wooden boards was a small underground bunker. Inside was Sophie Miller. Alive. Weak and terrified, but alive. The entire country reacted to the shocking rescue. But Sophie's statement to investigators made the case even darker. She claimed Daniel constantly talked about another woman, Emily Dawson. According to Sophie, Daniel once said, "Emily tried to escape." That single sentence changed everything. Investigators became convinced Emily had once been held there too. But if that was true, what happened to her afterward? 3 days later, police captured Daniel Reeves hiding inside an abandoned cabin near the state border. During interrogation, he refused to answer most questions. But detectives eventually mentioned Emily Dawson's name. Daniel reportedly smiled before quietly saying, "You'll never find her." The statement sent chills through the investigation team. Police searched Pine Hollow Forest repeatedly for months afterward. They dug through remote sections of land, drained ponds, searched abandoned wells. But Emily Dawson was never found. Not a single trace. Daniel Reeves was sentenced to life in prison for kidnapping Sophie Miller and several other crimes connected to stalking women across Oregon. But because investigators never found Emily's body, Daniel was never officially charged with her murder. To this day, Emily Dawson's disappearance remains one of Oregon's most disturbing unsolved mysteries. Some believe Daniel killed her shortly after abducting her. Others think Emily escaped into the forest during the storm and died trying to survive. But nobody truly knows. And that is what makes the case so terrifying. Because somewhere in Pine Hollow Forest, the truth about Emily Dawson may still be buried in silence.